Wider margin than that. And Castleford now have conceded 61 tries this year so far. Salford, who play tomorrow, closest to them, they have conceded 60. So expect plenty of points maybe in the second half. A, if Castleford start to fight back, and B, if Huddersfield put their foot down. We shall see. Rangi chase is the key to any Castleford revival.
Well, the biggest problem that the Tigers have, Eddie, is that it is looking like just a one-man show, whereas in the opposition, they've got the luxury of having two good halfbacks, Danny Brough and Luke Robinson.
And Rangi chase with a little double pump and almost through, but he couldn't fool Joe Wardle. Well, Haraki gets it back to Chase. There's the unique little hop, skip and a jump that Chase takes before he reaches the man approaching him to effect the tackle. And a kick behind the line, but that's not the best. Straight into Leroy Cudjoe's hands, and Cudjoe is strong.
Yeah, poor finish. Millwood will be desperate to make sure that that has changed. They look a little bit down, don't they? Even when they came out from the dressing room for the second half, they didn't seem to have that same zip that you need. It's been good tactics, though, by Paul Anderson and the Giants players, because normally, and I'm sure that Castleford would have been trying to make sure they keep Danny Brough quiet. But, of course, Luke Robinson, who had a fantastic first 40 minutes, he's been the main man for them.
And Brough, left-footed, in between Owen and Jordan Thompson, but the ball skipping its way over the dead ball line.
They'll be quite happy with that, though, Eddie. They can line up on that 30-metre. They know that their defence has been solid. Can't say the same for the Tigers, sadly, especially out wide.
Do you think, though, that the benchmark's been raised here? You know, if you want to win against the best teams in this competition, I think you need to be able to keep that ball to stay on the field, around the try line, or maybe even ideally just slightly over it. If you look at the best players who do it, and I know Danny Brough usually is one of those, they can keep the ball on the field when they want to apply the pressure.
It's Chase, pops it up to Craig Hubie, and Hubie steps out of one challenge, goes round Grix. It was a good job. There were reinforcements there in the shape of Brett Ferris. Darryl Clark, now this is a chance for Castleford early. The ball again goes to ground, but it was touched by a Huddersfield defender, so it's the zero tackle we've just watched. Referees wipe the tackle count down. Glorious opportunity then here for Michael Shenton's Castleford Tigers. He decides to take on Luke Robinson, but down he goes. Well, you saw the challenge.
You saw Shenton come across. There was one Tiger wanted to help him out back on the inside. They've got to run for him.
Untidily from Chase. It finds its way to Gilmore. And Gilmore then gives it to Thompson, who comes flat across the face of the defence. Then takes on David Fayumu and Robinson. Robinson gets him down with Fayumu. Clark is directing the operations. It's Ellis. Ellis then to Chase. Short ball from him to Haraki. He lost it, Haraki. And what he punches the floor with absolute disgust and despair. Wella Haraki.
Oh, give a little bit of credit to the fullback here, Scott Griggs. Boy, this is sensational. Roly-poly thought he was over, but Griggs got underneath it. He tried to offload Haraki, but that was a tremendous tackle there by the fullback Griggs.
You know, Eddie, if that try is scored, and that was 6 points, and you took away the interception try, which was a freak play in the first half, there isn't a great deal of difference. The game could look a lot closer. I know I'm trying to be optimistic as a Castleford supporter sitting here now, but I do think they have to view it that way.
Oh, you're talking for Castleford supporters, not as a Castleford supporter.
If I was in the position as a Castleford supporter, I felt sorry for them when they played at Hull Kingston Rovers and some decision went against them.
He's right. If they were in front on the scoreboard, they'd be winning.
Yeah, it gets in the way sometimes, that scoreboard. Well, the Giants will just do what they've done all this season, that they'll utilise the big forwards and then they'll make sure they get the kicking game away. That's how they control the game.
Lawrence. Could have been done for the flop then, Dan Fleming, but the referee allows things to go on, and high it goes off the boot of Danny Brough. It's a tester for Richard Owen. Whoops! And it's bounced up, and this is going to be a try is. It depends whether Richard Owen was tackled with feet in the air.
Well, it comes off the chest of Richard Owen. Now, there's quite a few in front of the kicker. This is going to be interesting.
Do Lawrence or Robinson, they're a number 7 in the middle of your screen now, 7 and 11. Do they get within 10-metre radius of the fullback who's going to try and catch this here for Castleford, Richard Owen?
Luke Robinson recognises the danger. He holds
I'd say
back.
they are within 10 metres because the white line they're stood on, they would have to be behind that significantly, Eddie. Look, where Owen stood there halfway between the 10 and the 20. It has to be no try.
15 out, Ian.
And no try is the decision.
It's a shame, really. It was an exceptional kick by Danny Brough. Not just the kick, though, his chase and his ability to force an error from the fullback.
Okay, well.
Ball to Cording. Try, we thought was a try, but absolutely right, Phil. Luke Robinson realised that he was in danger of getting within 10. He gestured with his arms, but didn't hold back with his legs and found himself within that 10, along with Michael Lawrence. So, correct decision from the video referee. It'll be a disappointment that Danny Brough's efforts weren't rewarded.
Well, maybe for the neutral, a decent decision, because that would have put Huddersfield well and truly out of sight. Craig Hubie is held. Darrell Clark finds Chase again. Short ball to Haraki.
A great ball as well from Chase. Haraki's got it away.
Shenton had a man on the outside. Jordan Tansey couldn't get the ball to him. Here's Jamie Ellis at dummy half. They come back this way again with Chase. Chase, another short ball to Haraki. And it's a knock-on. Promising, and then, in the end, disappointing.
Knock on, boys.
That's been the story for Castleford.
Yeah. Was this tackle completed? Here's the pass. Haraki went right the way through it. Wardle couldn't get to him. Rich took him down. Here's the ball carrying arm. He bounced it back.
Jamie, stay up there.
You know, if they got a bit more reward from Rangi Chase's efforts with the ball, they might have a better chance in this game. It's very, very difficult to defend against him. When he's looking straight ahead, that takes your attention as a defender, and you think, well, he's going to run the ball. Last minute he passes it, and he's almost put his players through a couple of gaps today.
Yeah, he's got the ability to do that, but the biggest problem for the Tigers is that if they do make that initial break, there's no second phase. We've seen it from the Huddersfield Giants today, in as much that when they do make the break, and not just one support, they've got 2, sometimes 3. That's a good hit. Play on.
And it's play on. And that's the zero tackle, because the Castleford man has the possession, and Cudjoe can be penalised here, and is.
Well, that was a fighting spirit that the Tiger supporters want to see here. The side are down, but Haraki gets up and forces a mistake. Adu Tansi. And now then, this gives them another chance, although they haven't been short of opportunities attacking the opponent's line. Perhaps the guile to get over it is the thing that's been missing in the last 50 minutes.
Problem maybe for the Tigers, though. Rangi has just gone off the field injured. And so here is Rangi Chase. He gets the ball to Ellis, who finds Richard Owen. Richard Owen bumps off a couple and just can't get the ball over the line.
Good
Lee
work,
Gilmore has scampered into dummy half. Darrell Clark. He's put to ground on tackle number 3. Oliver Holmes, score of their try in the first half. Spins away from trouble, comes back, takes on Luke George, loses it. And Huddersfield survive again. Good work from McGilvray. Here goes Luke George.
That was great work by George. He knew there was going to be a quick play the ball. Castleford were very slow to react to it. Gilmore didn't have any chance. He knew he was offside. He should have been penalised, actually.
Lon Patrick has it for Huddersfield. And Robinson waits.
And once again, Eddie, you'll see from the Giants, nothing fancy. Let's just get through some solid hard work. That's the key factor from their coach, Paul Anderson.
And Brough turned his body then inside the 40. Got the kick away, looking for a 40-20, but Jordan Thompson.
That's the question, Steve-O. Are Huddersfield willing to grind it out for 10 minutes? Just put up with that semi-conservative play for 10 minutes, putting this Castleford side under pressure and reap the benefits then for the last 20. Because that's what the better sides do.
And I think that this season they're learning that. Really have got the forwards working hard. And let's not forget that they're without Crabtree out there. He adds a lot of spice. Good work from, well, it was good work. That'll be a knock on, head and feet to Castleford.
Yeah, Rangi Chase passed that ball to himself and then tempted Michael Lawrence.
Has to be classified as head and feet to the home side. Well, he's trying his damnedest, but there again, even if they'd made the break, would he have got the support? This second phase is something that they've got to work out at Castleford.
Ready, heads in.
Little pass to himself, and then the tempter, and Lawrence's arm snaked out. Gilmore.
Mike, when your team haven't been making lots of breaks and scoring lots of tries, as the Tigers haven't this season, maybe the players who would be pushing up in support, it drops out of the habit. They've lost the instinct of doing it, and here they've lost the ball as well. Yeah,
Mason lost that. Oh, they've kicked early, and they're inviting McGilvray to chase, and he's taking a few yards off Richard Owen, and he gets there, you know. Jermaine McGilvray got there, but the question is on the grounding and whether he was onside from the kick. But Richard Owen was doing all he could, and he just put the toe down, did McGilvray. Well, second try if this is given.
This is the advantage of that new rule we brought in this year, is that even if it's not taken down, it'll come back to head and feet to the Giants, because they've got that option. Now, has he got there?
Well, how good was the kick, and how quick is this man? He's beaten Richard Owen to it, and he's beaten him relatively easily.
This is try
and grounded the ball. That's a fantastic effort. The kick from Brett Ferry is the second rower. The chase from McGilvray should get 4.
And the try is given. The second try of the afternoon for Jermaine McGilvray. He goes to 9 tries for the season for himself. Has vowed to be better and more consistent in 2013, and so far he has succeeded. And Rangi Chase must be wondering what on earth he can do to get the Tigers back into this.
Now this is the error. There's the knock on, and Ferry said, well, we've got that option because of the new rule, and it's probably the first time this season that something like this has come off. And great thinking by Brett Ferris.
Yes, it was a no-risk play in many ways, and Brough drifts the ball over the top of the bar to add the extras, and it's 34 points to 6 to the Huddersfield Giants.
Classy sides can score points from nothing. Second time that Tigers have lost possession, the second time that Huddersfield have scored directly from it. In the first half it was an interception try. This time they've used a kick to get the ball into the scoring area, and they've backed that with the speed from McGilvray.
So Jermaine McGilvray, and he must have taken, what, 10 metres, 15 metres off Richard Owen?
Well, not only that, it appeared to me as though Richard Owen sort of just put on the brakes. Whether he thought his body would be strong enough to
his
keep
body
him off.
language, Steve-O, suggests that Richard Owen wasn't aware, should have been, but wasn't aware of the proximity of Jermaine McGilvray to the ball and to him. And at the very, very last minute, Richard Owen sort of got his act together once he, I guess, felt the breath of Jermaine McGilvray on the back of his neck, but by then, far too late.
Well, Richard Owen should have known. Remember, McGilvray scorched around him in the first half, so he knows he's got the pace, and he certainly embarrassed him on that occasion.
Stuart Fielden has returned to the fray. We watched him, didn't we, Steve-O, in the warm-up, and he was involved in the warm-up like he was involved in the match. He was so enthusiastic. Talking about enthusiastic, McGilvray wants a hat-trick. Jordan Tansey did well.
Yeah, didn't panic. Offered him the outside run and left him space to get there with the tackle. There's a kick from Brough.
Oh, brilliant. Off the outside of the boot. Outside of the boot, brilliant. Brett Ferris, try for Huddersfield. 2 in 2 minutes. Paul Anderson, assistant at Huddersfield for 6 years, now the main man, determined to succeed where Nathan Brown narrowly failed. And he's fashioning a team here. He has got a team here capable of going all the way.
When you're leading at 34 points to 6, you can afford to be able to do this. The skill factor from Danny Brough was outstanding. Back on the inside. Ferris is at an up and down game, that's for sure. Come up with a few errors, but boy, he's come up with some good stuff, hasn't he? The kick, remember, McGilvray got the try, and now he said, I'm going to get on the scoreboard. Fantastic stuff.
That's too good, Eddie, that kick. That's too good. That's difficult to defend. I'm sure the coach, Ian Millward, will break it down and say, well, we could have done this, we could have done that. In the heat of the battle, that's just too good a kick. We saw Danny Brough this year against Leeds Rhinos. Well, he kicked them to pieces at Headingley. He's done it again today. He might tag on too, but it's his open play kicking that is exceptional and one of the best in the league, if not the best.
Brough to add the extras, which he does. They are through 100 points in their last 2 games, Easter Monday and today for Huddersfield Giants. They've got the century up in 2 sets of 80 minutes.
Brilliant. This really is talent on display.
I think anybody who tunes in to watch rugby, be it league or union, likes to see the ball move around. What the Giants have done is move it wide to the right-hand side, transfer it quickly to the left and get the points. Great to watch.
I just have to ask the question, with Castleford trailing 6 points to 40. The game, of course, should have been played Friday. It's been put back for 24 hours. Would another 24 hours make any difference to this scoreline?
The answer's in the bottom left-hand of the screen, Eddie, I think. And it's going to get worse, I believe, for Castleford Tigers. I'm not sure it would have made any difference. This Huddersfield side are running red hot. Players would probably like a little bit more recovery, but I believe had this game been played 24 hours earlier, you probably have a similar result.
I think you've also got to take into account, remember, that in Super League over the Easter period, we played 3 games within the space of 8-9 days. It's too much.
Well, it is, but
it's
traditionally
not too much
it
for
has
both
been.
teams, though, is
no,
it?
it's been
Because
like that.
one
Yes.
team's winning easily.
And the trouble is, Huddersfield, they have a squad that can cope. Wigan, Leeds,
They've got the
have
depth.
the squads that they can cope.
You want clubs that can get squads together that can
Yeah,
cope.
you're right.
That's the bigger issue. But I mean, we can get distracted on that. Phil's made a good point. We have a team capable of putting 40 points on it today. And the Castleford fans will be hoping at some stage they will have a squad capable of putting 40 points on Huddersfield in a game like this.
And Bradford Bulls are ahead in London, and they've had as difficult a spell as anybody, and they've had a pretty good Easter. That was forward. Oh, well, everything is going against the Tigers.
It's a shame, though, but the one bright spark for Ian Millward is this fella that offloaded, Craig Hubie.
Is that like Brett Ferris's offload in the first half?
Well, just went.
Rangi Chase would say so.
That one was seen. I think he just rolled out of his fingers a little earlier. He's a very good player at offloading the ball. Can get it away. It's one of Craig Hubie's tricks, I guess, as a front rower. But I think that's just rolled out of his hands and didn't go lateral and didn't go backwards.
Yeah, just went slightly forward, but he's certainly made an impact, and it's great to see him back to full fitness as well, Craig Hubie.
It's his 11th season with Castleford, Craig Hubie. It's his only club. This is his 28th consecutive appearance today. He's played in both the matches over Easter and this afternoon coming off the bench. Well, it's... I'm looking at the clock. We've got 23.5 minutes, and Huddersfield have got 40 points. Castleford have only got 6. We've been saying for a while this could get a little nasty. A little nasty for the Tigers.
That's what Paul Anderson would want. If you look at it from his perspective, Eddie, he wants his side. They've got the ball again now with a grapple tackle, Craig Hubie around the neck of Stuart Fielden. It's a good decision by the referee. He's using his neck as a lever. But Paul Anderson wanted to put on more points.
But the competition won't, will it? We've had 184-6 over Easter already. And that's apparently, if you believe everything you read on the web pages, that has led Neil Hungel to question his future at Hull Kingston Rovers.
That's the game's administrator's job. That's not our concern, is it? We're here to watch some entertainment, and the Huddersfield Giants are providing that. Somebody else has to work out the competition structure.
And that's going to be 0. Sean Lunt has picked it up. Boyle tried to whip the legs from underneath him, and Castleford falling off the tackles dramatically. It's still 6 to go.
Oh, it's passing to me.
They'll bring it back. They'll bring it back now. They'll bring it back for the original knock-on.
It was 1984 that, I think, the original knock-on. How far back are they going here?
Well, it just shows you that sometimes this rule can make a fool of our game.
Yeah, but the
other one was brilliant.
Yes, it was. Ferris with the kick, the kick and chase. It was.
But this looks somewhat farcical, doesn't it?
Well, had the other one been disallowed, the try, we would have been up the other end of the field.
Yes.
Go ball that way back. I think it is something we all agree And we're not running the game, but we all agree that the officials ought to look at.
What a take!
That's a
there.
great take.
Unbelievable.
He's having a great year, Ferris, isn't he? He really is having a great year. A lot of people in Huddersfield can't believe he's not in the England ETS squad.
And put me down on that list as well.
You're not in Huddersfield.
From time to time.
Brough, Robinson, movement everywhere, movement all over the shop, and Griggs just couldn't get the ball away.
Good work there. It was a good tackle by Lee Gilmore. A heavy one too.
Robinson again, that's too strong.
Yeah.
That's not the best kick from Robinson. He nailed it too.
But at least they're doing the right option. They just keep the pressure on. He knows it wasn't a good one. But instead of going for power play, just turn the opposition around. And look at poor old Castleford. They're having to try to get it into the opposition half, which has been difficult for them throughout this game.
You can see the key performance indicators strongly suggesting, as you would expect here, that Huddersfield have a significant lead. Perhaps not as big as they currently have in this match, but the breaks and meters they're making are killing their opponents.
He called the tackle as held, so they have to bring it back.
Problem for a Giants player.
I think it's Stuart Fielden.
And he did very well, Stuart Fielden, there. He was left as a lone marker. He backed off and made a tackle. You see Huddersfield get the ball back. Stuart Fielden came up with a very good piece of play in defence. And he might have caught a boot in the face for his troubles.
Just watch this, if we get to see a replay. The offload here from Rangi Chase. He's disappointed that Shenton doesn't take it in. He's committed 2 men to the tackle, created some time and space, flicked it out. The Tigers haven't capitalised on it.
Wasn't long ago we saw Michael Shenton limping out, going home with a bad shoulder injury from the tour, was it? Was that 2010? The Four Nations 2010? And here he is back now, Shenton, as the captain of the Castleford Tigers after 2 years at St Helens. Never regained his England place since then, but I'm sure he hasn't given up hope for the end of the season. And Stuart Fielden did get a boot in the face by the looks of things.
Isn't that great? He gets a boot in the face, they shove a bit of cotton wool up his nose and say, carry on, son. I love it. It's tough. Yep.
Oh, felt that. It's another penalty.
Just lacking a little bit of composure now. You could see Mason was very lazy with the left arm.
Hang on. We're going to have to get it sorted.
Penalty then to the Huddersfield Giants. We have seen this match here, or are seeing this match, and look what we have for you tomorrow. Tomorrow night at 6:30 on Sky Sports 1 HD, a repeat of the grand final at Old Trafford last year. Leeds against the Warrington Wolves, live, 6:30. Don't miss that.
Hold, fellas. Wait for it. Go.
That will finish your weekend off in style. Fielden.
He seems to be settling in, doesn't he, here with the Giants? And no, that's got to be another penalty. Oh, no, he's claimed it's a knock-on, lost control of it.
He lost it completely. Talking of grand finals, and the grand final repeat tomorrow, Stuart Fielden has played in a few. 6 grand finals in 7 seasons with the Bradford Bulls.
Well, he's split open as well, Eddie.
And he's in a right mess.
I don't know if it's nose or his eye, but he's got
It's
to go.
a combination of both, I think, Brian. I think he's split over the right eye. Yep.
Ready, lads?
Clash of heads.
He's here now. Okay, that's all right.
He knows it.
Men in the wars.
It was his own player, Lunt, who split him open with a nice headbutt.
They're very quickly into the tackle, Huddersfield, aren't they? They're giving Castleford Tigers no room to breathe whatsoever. It's difficult for a side that's on the back foot.
Well, at 40 points to 6, there's no real...
This will help.
Yeah, but there's no real interest, Eddie, in wasting...
Go on, young man.
Bringing Stuart Fielden back.
Darrell Clark with a tremendous run. That could be another penalty and might even be a sin bin.
Should be, yep. Off you go.
He's on his way. I think it's Jamie Cording, isn't it? Yes, it is. He got the tackle in, he did well to get the tackle in, but then he hung around.
Not allowed to do it. And then can the Tigers finish off with a little bit of a flourish? They need to try to get something sorted out.
Well, remember what Huddersfield did to Castleford when they had a man down.
Go. Discipline, boys.
Here's Oliver Holmes. Seems an eternity since he got over the line for their try in the 4th minute to give Castleford the lead. That was rather like the stick that went into the hornet's nest. Ellis, off the chest of Gilmore.
Advantage.
They'll bring it back.
Advantage called, and if anything comes of it, fair enough. But if not, they'll bring it back for the original offence. Look at this quick thinking from Darrell Clark.
Yep. And
it's a very good tackle, but then he messed it up, didn't he, Jamie Cording?
yeah, he had no option. Look, Phil Bentham has controlled this game exceptionally well. But another error. This time Gilmore.
You know, it's hard when you sit here to think, is that poor attack from Castleford, or is it really good defence today we've seen from the Huddersfield Giants? On the line, and they've had to spend a long time in this match, stood on their own line with the Tigers charging in from 5 and 10 metres out, preventing them from getting over. And I guess Paul Anderson will be delighted here. They got off to Easter poorly with that defeat to Salford on Good Friday. They bounced back and convincingly beat the Vikings, and then they've kept the momentum going here now. As the sun gets shinier, I should say, and brighter, and we start to see more of it, then the pitches get firmer. I think it might suit the Huddersfield side because Danny Bruff's kicking game improves, and they've got some speedsters out wide.
Yes, they have. A lot of people, of course, waiting for Huddersfield to fall off the perch again, but there's no sign of it in 2013.
Well, you saw a typical example there of the difference between the two sides. Is that when Lunt made the break, made a half, then there was somebody there supporting.
Here's another high kick from Danny Bruff. Oh, and he'll be thinking about the earlier one. But this time, Jordan Tansey pounces and pouches.
Huddersfield have the chance though.
Here goes Tansey. And he's now got Richard Owen. He also has a bit of support with him, does Owen. He should have passed.
He should have passed.
He should have passed.
He had Clark on the inside, like every good hooker should do, and Ian Millwood just cannot believe it. All that wonderful, good build-up.
And it's a pull-out, this. It's a one-on-one steal has been ruled.
Well, Tansey did everything right. Good positioning by Richard Owen. And then he went on the inside, and then he has someone there.
Well, he's blown that, Stephen, but Scott Griggs, I'm going to give him credit for that play as a defender. Jordan Tansey, great play coming out, giving the ball to Richard Owen. And Ian Millward will be furious that they didn't get more out of that. The question I have over the Huddersfield side is, what are you made of defensively? If you want to be a top 2, top 3 side, show us now what you're made of defensively. Scott Griggs, great play on that occasion. While you're down to 12 men, keep out this Castleford side. Keep them score, no more scores in this game, and you'll go a long way towards proving that you've got the mettle defensively to try and win this league.
I think you're right, Brian. They're very well balanced at the Huddersfield outfit.
You're talking up a Castleford try here, fellas.
Well, the challenge is there for the Huddersfield Giants. You can see other teams in this league now would relish this opportunity to keep Castleford out.
That's great defence.
And it was a good offload by Walker as well.
Tremendous tackle by Bruff then on Shenton. Jonathan Walker almost, he loses it. Nothing one-on-one about that.
Well, you can't blame him, really. At 40 points to 6, at least to try.
But Scott Griggs,
yeah,
a couple of times here, really has put himself on the line.
Great defensive play.
2, move, hold.
Great defensive play. He had to get in there and hit him hard and force an error.
3, move.
Does he punch the ball out here?
Go, 3.
No, I think it's just the impact. He was trying to offload as Walker, which he has done quite a few times in this second half.
Hold, go.
They've got a semblance of a chance to get them back into things maybe later on in the season, and that's just safety first. Good thinking. Just let's get out of here.
Well, with all the talk about Huddersfield, we do have to remember that Castleford have got their problems injury-wise. Dixon, Webster, Carney out of their three-quarter line. Gilmore's playing in the centre.
Gotcha.
They're doing it tough, the Tigers, sadly.
5 in for you guys.
Great little club this, fantastic supporters.
Well done,
But at the
Castleford,
moment,
6
sitting
in.
at the bottom of the
Heads in.
table and
Wait. Go.
with not too much prospect at this moment in time of climbing up the ladder. But next week is another day.
That ball's come out. The crowd have seen it. Well, Hiraki lost control of that ball. How it came, I'm not sure. But I think you'll see a separation between Hiraki and the ball.
Rangi Chase gets the ball away, and good hands from Shenton. Finds Owen then back on the inside, and Brough has tidied up for the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, that was good play by Castleford. At least he got on the outside, but you've got to give a great deal of credit to Danny Brough, who comes up on the angle. Look at this. You can see there that the fullback Griggs put us in a good position, but Danny Brough reading the game superbly.
That's evidence of the quick players that they've got, not only to score the tries today, but to recover and save tries. We saw Luke George and Brough there getting back and using the speed that they've got, the urgency. When your line is broken, run as hard and fast as if when you're actually attacking. Here they are on the attack, but well snuffed out by the Tigers.
Griggs ducking under the challenges, stepping out of the challenges, couldn't get away from Oliver Holmes. Quick play, the ball wanted. Oliver Holmes has got a touch of cramp. Brough drills the kick towards the sideline.
It's just like a mosquito, isn't it? It's a pest. Just keep turning them around. That is great tactics.
That's great play. It's the second time he's done it, Steve-O, you're right. He's read the game. He sees what his team have to do in defence while they're down a man. Just keep forcing Castleford to bring the ball back and backing your defence. They're certainly answering the questions now, the Huddersfield Giants.
And also, you've got to take into consideration that we realise all these players have. It's been a heavy schedule over the Easter.
One missing. Go on,
And the more chance they can just take a little bit of a breather, and that's when you've got the quality of Danny Brough kicking, you can give that to your side. And their defence has been pretty solid. The Giants.
Go, one.
Castleford Tigers. You know, for all the fact that they're trailing by 40 points to 6, they've not turned it in. They're having a go, they're having a dig for their coach and for their supporters.
They never do, and they never will in this this part of the country. Irrespective of what team they put out, they'll try to the bitter end. It's just that they come up against a far superior outfit.
Chase, Bradford have opened up a 14-point advantage against London. At the home of London Wasps, of course, not just High Wycombe, but an area of the country with a bit of rugby heritage. Rangi Chase stabs the kick in behind the defence. Scott Griggs sweeps up again. Can't get out of trouble though. Goal line dropout that Huddersfield have been forced to take. And it's the first that Castleford have forced.
And when you think about it, early in the game, when Castleford had taken the lead, they had the opportunity to put the kick in. They went for the power play, and Ian Millwood, the coach, will be saying, we should have done that 8 minutes into the game. We could have raced away to a 12-0 lead. In the end, they've just been blitzed by the Giants.
When a team can attack like we know Huddersfield can, but also defend like they've shown us in the last 10 minutes, you've got to say that they've got a chance, Eddie, in this competition of going perhaps all the way to Old Trafford. But there will be a question mark because of their capitulation in the end of the last couple of seasons. But this team certainly has the playing staff capable of doing something.
Yes, and they have kept out the Castleford Tigers 13 with Jamie Cording in the sin bin for almost 10 minutes. What a contrast to when Castleford were reduced to 12 men with Rangi Chase in the sin bin in the first half. And this is Michael Lawrence again.
Well, Paul Anderson, the coach, would have been very pleased with the team performance. Just a few individuals, but they've really stuck it together. And they're getting into the swing of being able to just calm things down They know what they started this game a little bit excited.
Five, move. Hold.
Last tackle here coming up for the Giants. Robinson, Brough, they're running it. Changes direction, comes back the other way. Has he heard the call? He must have done because he got the ball away. Fayumu keeps it going somehow. Robinson. Oh, he was pulled back.
Was he taken out off the ball? I think he was.
No, that's okay. Play on. Jordan Tansey now.
Shenton. Luke George just gets the long arms and pulls him towards him. Halts the danger. Hubie.
That's another key factor that Paul Anderson will be very, very proud of, is that not only do they have power in the forwards, they've certainly got a big three-quarter line. Speedy too.
Tansey, Gilmore.
Three, move.
To halfway on tackle number 3. He was quickly in, was Adam Milner. Makes another 10 metres, makes 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 metres. Good run.
Back up, boys. Hold. Go for.
Tansey again. Chase. Gets the ball away. Ellis. Shenton was clattered then by Murphy, and unfairly.
A little bit too high.
See if you got that advantage out of it.
They tried their best, trying to put a pressure on Danny Brough, who defends out on that left-hand side, but Murphy right over the top.
It's Walker now for Castleford.
First,
Down he goes, but they have only had one of their 6 tackles here, and the 5 metres from the Huddersfield line. A chance here. I think he might have pinched one. I think he might have get one. He has. It's a decent little shimmy from dummy half by Adam Milner.
Came off the bench and well, certainly injected himself into the play. There you see it, right over the top. Aaron Murphy. And from the resulting penalty, you've got to give credit for Milner. You could see there that they were just a little bit light. See the hesitation, and that was sufficient for the hooker, Milner, to throw the dummy and squeeze through. Yeah, no doubt about it.
You know, they've tried almost every other way of scoring when they've got close to opponent's line. Passing it to the left, passing it to the right, offloads, flicks, kicks. And in the end, it was the simple and direct approach with a little bit of aggression and enthusiasm that got Castleford over for their second try. But they spent so many minutes on their opponent's try line that inevitably they had to get across it somehow.
And Ellis adds the extra 2 to Adam Milner's try. Milner making his Super League debut at Huddersfield, or rather against Huddersfield, in a 44-18 win here in July 2010. I don't think Paul Anderson will be impressed that they've conceded that try, but at least it's given Ian Millwood something to slightly smile about.
Well, they'll be copying the video. They'll have to put their hand up tomorrow when they review this game. Brett Ferris is one of them. We were very complimentary of his efforts in attack and defence today, but he did get cut out by a good play from Adam Milner at dummy half. He showed it one way, went back onto the short side, and they all thought he would pass it too high from Ferris, and Milner went through, and Cass through again.
That was a great ball from Chase to Walker, and here goes Darryl Clark, who's got some toe. He's going to beat Scott Briggs to the line, and Darryl Clark gets over for a try, a fine try directly from the kickoff.
Great play by
He will be
Rangi
furious,
Chase.
will Paul Anderson.
Yep, Rangi Chase. He took the ball, he could have offloaded like they normally do, but he could see that Huddersfield just held off slightly.
Well, we know they've got it in them, Castleford, to score tries like that.
Here's the kick-off. Now watch Huddersfield just stop. They anticipate that he's going to pass the ball, but he did take about 5 metres straight through. And what about this run for the hooker? Catch me if you can. Scott Griggs couldn't. Held off there, you can see Sean Lunt. He just pushed himself in, it left an enormous gap. What a finish. Hookers enjoy that.
Well, 2 hookers in 2 minutes. Milner scoring the first, and Darrell Clark getting that one.
Well, in a team that struggled this season, I think Darrell Clark's been impressive. Can Jamie Ellis kick 2 more points? Yes, he can, according to the touch judges. You know, Darrell Clark's played in all 10 of the games so far this season. This, of course, is the 11th for him. And he ranks second. There's only one player in the Super League who's made more tackles than him. He's been on the bench at times, but the speed to finish this chance, none of the outside backs for Huddersfield, who we think are quick, can get anywhere near to him. What a fantastic athlete, and a well-deserved try for his efforts in 2013.
I'll throw another one at you, Phil. Is there a quicker hooker around than this man? I can't think of one.
I don't think there's a quicker one or a tougher one as well. I mean, he plays in the middle of the field. He's a young man. And he does incredibly well in the team that's at the bottom of the competition.
Well, you could see there that Paul Anderson got the message out. They were very enthusiastic with Huddersfield for that kickoff. Take nothing away from the pass from Rangi Chase was superb, but what about the effort of Jonathan Walker, who went through that enormous gap?
Well, 18 points to 40 is a little bit more respectable all of a sudden.
Far too late, sadly, for the coach Ian Millwood and these faithful fans. But as you keep saying, Eddie, it's something that they can work on.
Here's Hiraki. He's switched from right to left. Gilmore stands. This is the last tackle coming up. Chase dabs it through. Individual brilliance. Individual brilliance. And that's a try for Walker. And it was a try out of absolutely nothing, created by the genius of Rangi Chase.
Genius is what that is. He's been pulling out all the tricks today. Not many have come off, but he's kept trying and kept trying. And that is wonderful sleight of hand. And vision to feel his inside runner on his inside shoulder and find him with a pass. Brilliant, brilliant play for the number 6 in the Castleford jersey.
3 tries in 4 minutes for the Castleford Tigers. All too late, sadly. They're going to lose, but it has given them something to think about for next week and witness.
How's about this for top draw? And that was a great positioning by Jonathan Walker. He's had a good second half as Rangi Chase, and so has Walker. We've already mentioned that Craig Hubie has been on song in the second stanza. The big problem is, where was all this missing in the first half?
When in that play, Eddie, does he see Jonathan Walker on his inside? I'm watching his eyes. I want to see when he can pick up that Jonathan Walker is on his inside.
Ellis adds 2 more points. It's more than respectable now. It's the first try for Jonathan Walker, by the way, in over a year. He was in the team that beat Leeds. He's been out on dual registration with Keithley, and a sweet moment for him. But just look at this from Rangi Chase.
I guess the Tigers players know they've got to put themselves around the action when Rangi Chase has the ball. Give themselves a chance.
Do you think that's what Ian Millwood says? Just follow him?
Well, I'm sure it is, but it's not always that easy because you don't know where he's heading, and probably neither does he. But it's a fantastic effort there now to convert that into try, and maybe it's not all over yet. They've got one more special for the crowd here, the last 30 seconds.
Well, it would be special, and it would make it look on paper as though it's been a really close-run thing. They're going to get a penalty anyway. I mean, it hasn't been a close-run thing, has it? We've had just 3 flashes of inspiration in 4 minutes, and is there another one coming? Huddersfield tiring after their Easter.
Oh, looked for the offload on the inside, didn't he, Tansey? Here's Chase with a flick pass out the back. I think time will beat them. But the interception try, when they ran it on that power play in the first half, was a major turning point.
Bradford have beaten London. Chase with a crossfield kick. Oh, picked up by Hiraki. Hiraki infield. Oh! It would have been a try for Dan Fleming. It would have been a try for all money for young Dan Fleming. He just couldn't take the pass in. It would have been a special end. Oh, he was scoring the try, wasn't he? The final siren sounded, it's all over. Well, it was Huddersfield from start to finish, and Ian Millwood, his troubles continue.